Hi, and welcome to Next Edge. In this lesson today, I'm going to be helping you master the loop jump. So for those of you who don't know what a loop jump is, it is a backwards outside edge, takeoff, and landing on the exact same foot. For me, it is my right leg. If you jump the other way, it is going to be your left leg. Now, in our lesson today, we are going to be breaking down 3 entries for this loop jump to help you master it. The first one is going to be an inside 3 turn, pick up into that loop jump, landing. The second one is going to be a traditional entry, and the third one is going to challenge you. We're going to go from a spread eagle and then fall into an Ina Bower and then pick it up with a single loop. So let's begin. So before we learn this first entry, I want you to check out the link below in the description on the 6 steps to how to train like a pro. This is going to take you from that beginner, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, to I know what I'm doing. I know how to get to the ice rink. I know how to warm up properly. I know how to train properly and have a cool down, because that's where it all starts, is that whole entire mindset on training like a pro. So check out that link below. So this first entry that we're gonna learn today is for those skaters just starting out learning the loop jump. Now, I love this entry because it already takes some speed and we just pick up the loop jump. And what does that look like? We are going to be learning it from an inside 3 turn, because we already know how to do an inside 3 turn, and it's going to make it so easy to just take that speed and then just pick it up. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to push onto a right forward inside edge, 3 turn, and then pick the loop jump up. It takes that momentum. There's no static about that entry. You already have some rotation, so all you have to focus on is that right leg bending and pushing through, because we have the momentum from that 3 turn. So why I love this entry is because it just keeps moving as a new skater learning this element. I push onto a right forward inside edge here. I do my 3 turn, and then I just pick the loop jump up. There's so many positive things about this entry. As an adult skater, I know that the less time that you have to think also helps out, because we start questioning, is my arm in the right spot? What am I doing? Yes, you just roll into it and it picks it up, and then it has a nice landing, and then you are able to achieve that loop jump. Now, some things to look out for with this entry. As much as it's a beautiful and you don't have to overthink it, you do have to worry about your shoulders not spinning around your body. And I'm gonna show you what that looks like so that you can watch out for this. So you do your 3 turn and your arms just keep going around. And it becomes quite wild. We still need to keep our upper body very strong throughout that loop jump, not allowing it to move and fling us around. So one thing that I recommend is make sure that you have a strong forward inside 3 turn. It's so important. And also a backspin. You understand the backspin. You can balance on that right leg, or if you spin the other way, on your left leg. So those are 2 things that I really want you to make sure that you have before giving this entry a go. Okay, now that we have our loop jump, we are ready to move on to our entry number 2. And the next step is about building speed and using that speed to help our loop jump. We are going to use a traditional entry. This is an entry that every skater should know and be able to do a loop jump from. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to do that so that this is our next step in building our loop jump. All right, let's take a look at this traditional loop jump. As you can see, I definitely have a lot more speed going into it. I set up and I'm backwards for this loop jump entry, and then I go for the loop jump itself. Some things that I like to focus on is making sure that this right arm stays back, and then I jump. It's not coming out to the side or in front of my body. So just make sure that you set up nice and go for the loop jump with a beautiful landing. Now let's take a look at this loop jump. Again, we're gonna set it more on a circle. So you'll see me build speed and then set the loop jump up. It's still a traditional entry. So both of these loop jumps, you have one that's more from a straighter entry and one that's a little bit more on a curve. Both of them are correct. It comes down to personal preference. I have some skaters that love to set up more on a straight line and then use the curve and then pick up, or some that like to just already be on that curve and then pick it up into that loop jump. So with this next step, it's all about building speed and using that speed to get up into the jump, because it is harder to do a loop jump from a standstill. When we add more speed, the speed just picks it up. It just helps us carry us up into the air for that loop jump. So before we jump into this third entry, let's recap on everything. With the first entry, it was all about landing the loop. The second entry, it was all about that speed and using the speed to help us with our loop jump. Now this third one is going to be from any entry that you want, because you have mastered the loop jump. You can do whatever you want. And today I am totally feeling a spread eagle. Tomorrow I might want something different, but that's when you know you have mastered the loop. You can do any entry that just pops into your head, because I do have skaters that go, I can only do an entry from step number 2, which then I go, you haven't really mastered that loop jump yet. So I'm going to show you how I'm gonna do a spread eagle into a loop jump. Okay, I wanna talk you through this third entry. So I'm gonna start off and I'm gonna start backwards so that I can hit a spread eagle. And then I'm gonna go outside spread. Now slide in a bower, loop jump. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but as I do that Ina Bauer, I am doing what? The first entry, that inside 3 turn into that loop jump. So you will use entry number 1 quite often if you do add something difficult before, because it just makes it easier to do the loop jump. And if I was training back in the day, I would have tried to double off of it, because I just use that speed to just pick up into that loop jump. So we're gonna take a look at it one more time. So this is just one entry that you can use. You might find that you might want to do a spiral, or you might want to do steps into it. It just makes it more interesting, and you don't have this telegraphed look going into your jump where you set up and then it's like, here comes the jump, here comes the jump, yeah? It's a quick and easy way to get into a jump with a beautiful landing and also a beautiful start before that loop jump. All right, there you have it. That is your 3-step to mastering a loop jump. We start with learning the loop jump. Step number 2, we add that speed. And step number 3, you can do whatever you want into that loop jump because it is so comfortable. Now, you might find that after you've got that single loop down, you might have to start back at step number 1 for the double jump and then work your way up again. And then once you've mastered the jump, someone might say to you, hey, you're ready for a triple jump. And then you have to start again back at step number 1. This is skating. It might take you a while to get things down, but don't worry. This is about your journey in skating, and sometimes it might take a while, but that's okay because eventually you will master everything. Thanks for watching Next Edge Tutorials, and looking forward to seeing you in our next lesson.